On the news, NLC sacks Labour Party's Abure-led National Working Committee, sets up Transition Council. EFCC recovers 30 billion naira, investigates over 50 bank accounts in Beta Edu scandal. And World Bank projects drop in Nigeria's 2024 inflation rate to 24.8%. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Ajigun. The crisis rocking the Labour Party has taken a new twist as the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has voided the return of the party's national chairman Julius Abure and his National Working Committee at a convention recently held in Nnewi, Anambra State. In a communique issued at the end of the NLC Political Commission stakeholders meeting in Abuja, the Congress passed a vote of no confidence on the purported convention and the leadership that emerged from it. According to the communique, the NLC approved the constitution of a transition committee under the leadership of the NLC Political Commission to manage the affairs of the party in the interim. The stakeholders resolved that the transition committee should conduct the affairs of the party pending the conduct of an all-inclusive and expansive national convention. Meanwhile, the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi has advocated a peaceful resolution to the ongoing issues plaguing the party. This call was made during a stakeholders meeting organized by the Political Commission of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) in Abuja. Speaking at the meeting, party spokesperson Yunusa Tanko, who represented the party's 2023 presidential candidate, reiterated the importance of unity within the party and emphasized the need for a harmonious approach to addressing internal challenges. Speaking further, a former president of the NLC, Abdul Wahid Omar, proposed the formation of a union during the meeting to facilitate reaching a consensus and steering the party towards greater accomplishments.
How can just an individual or a few individuals continue to play on the intelligence of the greatest, the most intelligent people in this country? So I thank the Nigeria Labour Congress for taking the bull by the horn, summoning the courage to bring together all the stakeholders to fashion the way out to make sure that we salvage this Labour Party and make it great again.
We must look beyond the past and look into a glorious future of what can be achieved by the collaboration of Nigerian workers and people in the political space. And that's why when I started, I said we are playing here politics without bitterness. And there are no enemies in Labour Party. The true believers of the ideology of Labour Party do not make enemies of others, even when they hold different opinions. We are majority.
It is only when you have peace that you can be able to even vie for any position whatsoever. So without a peaceful reconciliation, we will continue to wallow up in these particular challenges up and down. So he recalled and he requested strongly there should be a peaceful resolution to all contending issues. The reconciliation should reach out to every political stakeholder. There is no enemy in Labour Party. We can also say the enemies of Nigeria are outside the Labour Party.
Well, let's discuss the crisis rocking the Labour Party further. Political affairs analyst Muyiwa Akintunde joins me on the news. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Akintunde. Now, there appears to be no end in sight to the internal crisis bedeviling the Labour Party over its leadership. Now, do you think that the Nigeria Labour Congress, that's the NLC, has the sole authority to decide who should lead the party?
Well, if you look at the structure of the Labour Party itself, the way it was brought into play, how it was born, Nigerian Labour Congress definitely has a very strong and significant role to play in the Labour Party. But Labour Party has seen, I mean, because at its formation it was actually the Nigerian Labour Congress that, inspired the Labour Party. But because the Nigerian Labour Congress cannot constitute itself into the political party, they had to look for, a vehicle and then have the Labour Party ultimately. So they are major stakeholders. But then they are not the only stakeholders in what has become the Labour Party now. And that is why I think that this crisis is coming up. The NLC wants to have absolute control of the Labour Party, but they also have to realize that the Labour Party has transcended beyond just the Nigerian workers alone. There are people who supported this political party just less than a year ago when we had the general elections who don't have anything whatsoever to do with Nigerian Labour Congress. And they are very significant players in this party now that the Nigerian Labour Congress having to have control of this. They should realize that it's going to be the kind of crisis that we're having now is actually they should have envisaged it. So conclusively on the question you asked, I think that the Labour Party and the NLC, they should sit down and find a way out of this situation. Thank God some of them are already beginning to talk about having to engage all the stakeholders. So I think they should look at that direction. Nigerian Labour Congress cannot say it has absolute control of the Labour Party.
Now, some members of the Labour Party have expressed fear that this crisis could reduce its chances in 2027. Now, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that because any political party that really wants to make a good show of the election in 2027 should have started since yesterday, actually. 2027 may look like so far away, about 3 years to go, but it's almost here. So to have a crisis in a political party that did so well in the last election, that should also build on what it did in the last election. To have this kind of crisis now is not good either for the party or for politics in Nigeria generally. So those who are having that fear about the Labour Party, as they say, the house divided against itself can never stand. And the Labour Party needs to stand and stand very strongly. The Nigerian people cannot afford to have a single party setting, the Nigeria as a country. And right now, the main opposition party, the People Democratic Party, the PDP, is also having its major challenges, that one will look up to a political party like Labour Party to give the kind of challenge to the ruling party. But unfortunately, here we are, the Labour Party having its own crisis. So it's not a good sign for the 2027 election. It's not even a good sign for any time whatsoever.
Well, like you said, 2027 isn't far off. We just continue to monitor as the party manages its affairs. Political affairs analyst Moyiwa Akin today, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Still on politics, 60 members of the opposition lawmakers coalition in the House of Representatives have called for the immediate unconditional resignation of the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Umar Damagan, over what they termed anti-party activities. Member of the House representing Imo State, Ikenga Ugochinyere, and 5 other members issued the threat at a press conference at the National Assembly complex in Abuja on Monday. Speaking on behalf of the lawmakers, Ugochinyere rejected the NWC's list, alleging it is part of a plot by the ruling All Progressives Congress APC to undermine the PDP. Another member, Abdul Malik Danga, says Damagan should exit and allow the North Central take its rightful position.
Immediate resignation of Umar Iliyu Damagu as acting national chairman of PDP for anti-party activities and allow North Central produce the acting chairman as clearly stated in the PDP constitution, or watch us reconsider our membership of the party in the months ahead if the right thing is not done. Or removal of Umar Damagu by the neck of the party with further sanctions against him for anti-party activities. 3. That the neck of the party should ensure that the list of party caretaker committees in Rivers State and all the other 10 states tampered by Damagu and his APC friends are reversed and announced as originally agreed. That is by extension of the tenures of the outgoing leadership. That the move to use 7 APC members in Rivers and 10 other states to lead our party caretaker as state LUGA and world level is the highest act of political provocation and impunity that we are going to fight with everything in us. PDP cannot be handed over to APC. There are precedents, and that is what we have stated. Damagun should not continue. He should cede that position to the area that it rightly belongs to. The rains have come too early, but rather than raise our hands and complain, we will use the rains to water our fields.
The chairmen whose tenure are about to expire in Rivers were elected by the people of Rivers State. They were not elected by the courts. And they were elected on terms, and they were sworn in with a definite term lag.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it has recovered 30 billion naira from the investigation of suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Betta Edu. On January 8, President Bola Tinubu suspended Edu and directed the EFCC to conduct a thorough investigation into all aspects of the financial transaction involving her ministry. All social investment programs under the ministry were put on hold after the suspension of the minister. In an update contained in a bulletin titled EFCC Alert, the Commission says it is also investigating 50 bank accounts, adding that the 30 billion naira recovered is in the coffers of the federal government. A civil society group known as the Coalition for Truth and Justice has expressed support for the probe of the tenure of the former governor of Kano State, Umar Ganduje. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja on Monday, CTJ convener Obinna Francis described it as a positive step towards accountability and transparency in governance. Francis further charged Governor Yusuf to extend the probe to other notable individuals in the state, such as Rabiu Kwankwaso. He emphasized that selective justice is a threat to society everywhere in the world, hence the failure to investigate Kwankwaso and others will be seen as biased and political.
We believe that justice should be blind and impartial, regardless of one's social or political status. Therefore, we call for a fair and comprehensive investigation that includes all relevant parties. Governor Abba Yusuf should be wise enough to know that it is only when the foundation of transparency is strong, that's when corruption can be fully addressed. The relentless attacks on Chairman Ganduje by Governor Abba Yusuf and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso not only create a sense of instability in the political landscape of Kano State, but also undermine the democratic process. Instead of fostering healthy political competition and constructive dialogue, their actions fuel division and animosity. This not only harms the state's political stability, but also hampers the overall development and progress of Kano State. In light of these concerns, the Coalition for Truth and Justice urges Governor Abba Yusuf to extend its investigation to include the period when Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso served as the governor of Kano State. The government should be upright in its dealings by not selfishly restricting its investigation to between 2015 and 2023, but from 1999 till 2023. This will ensure that justice is served without bias or favoritism.
Nigerian travel content creator Pelumi Nubi has captured the hearts and imaginations of audiences worldwide with her captivating adventures and boundless curiosity, this time for embarking on a solo road trip from London to Lagos. After 68 days of traveling, Pelumi Nubi has written her name in history as the first black woman to achieve the feat. More details in this report.
I want to show it's possible for black women like myself to seek adventure.
28-year-old travel blogger Pelumi Nubi left London on January 31, 2024 on a solo drive and passed through 17 countries before arriving in Nigeria. the first woman to ever undertake such a journey. Her path took her from England to France, Spain, Morocco, and through the huge West Sahara Desert, all by road. She documented her experiences, some good and some bad, on social media.
That was good. I milked that.
Nubi arrived at Semeboda on Sunday, April 7, 2024, to a rousing welcome by officials of Lagos State government and other Nigerians. While welcoming Nubi, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu commended her willpower and determination.
This is going to be for you. It's certainly going to change a whole lot of courses for you, but I can see that you're ready for it. I can see that you've been self-propelled, you've been self-motivated, you've been self-in-tuned into this. And I want to say to you that welcome to your new world. Looking at your experience and your journey the last almost 90 days down, because I'm sure there's been a lot of preparation to it, is indeed very inspirational. And you've actually just shifted mountains, not just moved, you've actually shifted, locations. I want to say that this is indeed a true African spirit that you have demonstrated. This is indeed a true Nigerian capability that you have demonstrated. But more importantly, this is a story of Lagos not a carry last.
For us in the Diaspora Commission, of course, we monitor the journey. And one thing about this very inspirational and courageous lady, she didn't even want any help as such. I'm going to do it alone, and I'm going to get it done. Because everywhere she got into trouble, was it Cote d'Ivoire, crossing to Sierra Leone, we did everything. Even the community said, come, let's host you. But she just wanted to show that she could do this alone, and she did. But of course, at every state, the Nigerian embassies were there to support her. In fact, without her knowing, they sent information to the borders before she gets there that we don't want any problems.
Pelumi's father described her safe arrival in Nigeria as the end of anxiety.
Where this journey started, the only security operators we put in place is that the parents will know where she sleeps. So every night she will send a Google map, even in the desert, that this is the location. And we'll be praying, night vigil. It's when she wakes up in the morning that she moves on, that we know that nothing happened to her. And that went on for those 68 days.
Narrating her experience, Nubi, who has been to over 80 countries, says her latest feat of traveling by road from London to Lagos was inspired by Nigerian biker Kunle Adeyanju, who completed the same trip for a polio campaign. She expressed excitement at the completion of her solo drive and thanked the Lagos State government for its support.
Like when I started this, I was just doing my own thing. I was just traveling, and it got worldwide recognition. And it always just shows that you just have to step out of your comfort zone. You really just have to do the things that you're scared of. So you don't listen to what anyone says. Don't listen to the naysayers. Trust your instinct, trust your gust, and go for it.
For her effort, Nubi was gifted a brand new car by Governor Sanwo-Olu, who also made her tourism ambassador for Lagos State. She also got a customized plate number, while she donated the vehicle she used for the trip to the J. Randall Cultural Center for Yoruba Culture and History as a monumental gift to the Lagos State government. Simisola Adigun, TV 360 News. We'll take a break here, but coming up, Nigeria's junior footballers denied visas to play in UEFA's Under-16 development tournament in Spain. Stay with us. News Now will return shortly. Welcome back. A quick recap of our top stories. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has voided the return of the Labour Party's national chairman Julius Abure and his national working committee at a convention recently held in Nnewi, Anambra State. In a communique issued at the end of the NLC Political Commission stakeholders meeting in Abuja, the Congress passed a vote of no confidence on the purported convention and the leadership that emerged from it. The stakeholders resolved that the transition committee should conduct the affairs of the party pending the conduct of an all-inclusive and expansive national convention. We also told you that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) says it has recovered 30 billion naira from the investigation of suspended Minister of Humanitarian Affairs Betta Edu. On January 8, President Bola Tinubu suspended Edu and directed the EFCC to conduct a thorough investigation into all aspects of the financial transaction involving her ministry. In an update contained in a bulletin titled EFCC Alert, the Commission says it is also investigating 50 bank accounts, adding that the 30 billion naira recovered is in the coffers of the federal government. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Well, let's now join Opeyemi Owosheni, who's on standby with more information in the world of business. Over to you, Opeyemi.
Hello and welcome to Business News. It's good news from the World Bank as the financial institution says Nigeria's inflation rate will drop to 24.8% year-on-year in 2024. This comes after the National Bureau of Statistics pegged the current rate at 31.7% in February from 29.9% recorded in January. The World Bank report also reaffirmed its projection of 3.3% economic growth for the country in 2024. Top economist Ken Ife, who agrees with the World Bank projection, says the reduced inflation will be sustainable based on several policies implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Yes, you are going to tell me that the inflation hasn't gone down, but all the parameters that will bring down inflation are now active and positive. You are now seeing that the rates are dropping, so the level of imported inflation is obviously going to come down. You are going to see that on prices, but it takes a finite time from when you have an action and going into force, and then you have that bit. But you also see that some of the input costs are coming down. Diesel coming down from 1,800 to 1,000. Now that means that a lot of the input costs on inflation are going to be deflated. So you will see the inflation will come down. Then the food is also a big one. There are a huge imported processed food component of our inflation, which is active at both the core inflation level and also at the food sub-basket index. Both of them are going to come down, but not sufficiently to push the inflation down to core inflation level. But you will see some prices coming down. This price started coming down, Forex, only about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But the importers that have imported their goods, imported them way back 3 months ago. So it is now they will place order with these new rates. And this order, when you import, you have allowed 2 months for the imports to come in, 3 months. So when they place order with cheaper currency, by the time it comes in, then the competition in the system will allow a free fall in the price. Look at prices are coming down on the cement. It went up to 13,000. It's coming down to 8,000. It's supposed to go down to 7,000, 7,700. You've seen the diesel coming down significantly from 1,800 to 1,000, and it might still go down a little bit because Dangote is now running. And then by the end of the month, April,
NNPC refineries will kick in. So you could see some of those oil and crude and PMS, all of that starting to come down. And those are the components of the structural inflation factor, that is the cost push inflation. So it will come down.
Still on business, the federal government has concluded arrangements to receive a $1.05 billion syndicated loan backed by oil from the African Export-Import Bank towards the end of May 2024. The loan is part of the $3.3 billion pre-export finance facility facilitated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and arranged by the bank in January 2024. Through this loan, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserve is expected to go further from the current $33.34 billion as the Central Bank of Nigeria embarks on reforms to manage the country's currency market. Well, that's it on business news. Back to you, Simisala, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Akwayemi. And on the foreign scene, electric car maker Tesla has settled a lawsuit brought by the family of an Apple engineer who was killed when his Model X swerved off California highway while on autopilot. Wei Longwang's family had filed a negligence and wrongful death lawsuit in 2019, accusing Tesla of liability due to exaggerated claims about the firm's self-driving technology. They argue that Tesla's autopilot feature was promoted in such a way as to make customers believe they did not have to remain alert when behind the wheel. Court filings on Monday showed Tesla settled Wang's family in a wrongful death suit they filed over the crash in Mountain View, California in 2018. However, the amount Tesla paid to settle the case was not disclosed in court document after the company asked that it remains under seal. And on sports, members of Nigeria's junior football team have been denied visas to take part in the UEFA's Under-16 development tournament in Spain. According to the Nigeria Football Federation, the future Eagles were set to leave Nigeria on Tuesday ahead of the first match against Belgium on Friday. The 20-player squad was also due to play against Italy and England. The NFF, however, did not reveal the reasons given for the visa denials. Well, that's all on News Now. Thank you for watching. See you next time.